If you've seen Squid Game season 3, you know what I mean by it looks like the finale. Because if a season 4 should come out right now, it would in no way have the appeal or carry the same weight as these 3 seasons. We that have watched the season 3, we know why. So if you're here for the recommendation, if you're here to know if Squid Game season 3 is what you'll watch, let's just get straight into it. Let me give you the stats, okay, that prove that this is what you'll watch. It has an 8/10 score on IMDb and a 78% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, it looks good. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as season 1. Hot take. I don't even think it's a hot take. I think this is like facts. Squid Game season 2 and 3 did not hit as hard as season 1, but yeah, there are reasons for that. We'll probably get into all of that during the review phase. So recommendation, go watch the movie. You folks, let's start. Hi, and welcome to WWGM. We watch good movies. This is the home of good movie recommendations and reviews. We only entertain good movies here. Today we're talking about Squid Game season 3. And if you've watched it, you know the biggest news of all with Squid Game season 3 is that Song Gi-hoon, should I just say, he was unalive in Squid Game season 3. Our beloved main character, our beloved MC, the guy who literally carried this movie. His character came to an end in Squid Game season 3. Now, was it a make sense character death, or did it just come out of nowhere? For me, I think, painful as it might have been, annoying as it might have been, I think it made sense as far as the plot and wrapping up the story was concerned. And I like the way it was done, in that the fact that he sacrificed himself at the ending is very much in line with Gi-hoon's character. You know, at some point there, I thought he was going to win the game second time in a row. I actually forgot that with him and the baby as the finalist, whoever didn't win would actually get eliminated. So when he had sacrificed himself, that was when I kind of realized and remembered that, oh, that's happening. In that way, with the way his character is built, he literally had no other choice than to sacrifice himself for the baby to be able to win. But I think the real issue here is that baby came out of nowhere. Like, I can't remember knowing that 222 was literally 9 months pregnant. I thought it was just like a few months into the pregnancy kind of thing, but to see that she was actually 9 months pregnant and she literally had that baby in there, like that baby came out of nowhere. And that baby put so many people in trouble. Like, the baby is the reason why Gi-hoon had to go. Okay, and it's all good. I guess it's all good. It kind of helped him absorb himself from many things that he felt he had to like pay penance for, or he felt guilty about. It helped him absorb himself from those sins, crimes, stuff that he did and he wasn't happy with, you know, as the game progressed, you know, everything he kind of blamed himself for. For him, it was a worthy end to be able to prove to the front man that humans are humans and not animals, regardless of how the game tried to make it seem otherwise. And I'm just going to talk about my disappointment in the baby's dad. Player 333, I thoroughly and completely expected that at some point he was going to like do the right thing. I had high hopes for him when he turned against the final 6. You know, that little cult they were trying to start with the 6 of them. I had high hopes for him. I really did think that he was trying to save his baby. I just couldn't believe at that point. I realized that he was still after all this while. Every single time he acted like he was trying to redeem himself, or he was just trying to be a better person. Like, a guy went 1 step forward, 20 steps backwards. That was his whole thing throughout the movie. He didn't get the money at the end of the day, so for him that too was a fitting end. And I also love that the front man gave Song Gi-hoon's daughter all his remaining winnings from the game. I love that he did that. Okay, because all Gihun really wanted was to be a better father financially and physically. Like, or it really looked like being broke really stops him from doing any of that. And with the money, he was finally even in debt. Although he was dead, at least he was able to help his child financially, so he would be glad about that. And I did think he was going to keep the baby, then surprised to see that he gave the baby to his brother. Not surprised again, because when I think about it, I believe he also wanted to give the money to his brother, and the only way to have his brother have the money was to give him the baby. I guess the front man doesn't think he has it in him to raise a child, okay, based on the way he is, having lost himself to the ways of the game. With the ending that we got with Squid Game season 3, they want to make us think that a season 4 might be something to look out for, but probably this time likely to be set in the USA, likely to have a heavily USA cast. But that's good for them. But as far as this Korean piece is concerned, we are glad to have gotten a fitting ending, and wow, it was kind of bittersweet, really. It was kind of bittersweet. Just thinking about it, so like, wow, oh, such a good ending, really nice. And then on the other part, I'm like, wow, that means Squid Game is over, like over. Oh my god, Gihoon. And that was it. Like, I felt kind of incomplete after watching the movie. I felt like it had left some sort of space. It ended all too quickly. I literally went back to start watching season 1 all over again, just skipping through it and reliving the good times of Squid Game. Now, onto why someone might think that Squid Game season 2 and 3 didn't live up to, the success of season 1. When you think about it, Squid Game season 1 was a fresh story. Like, it was super fresh. It gave us something that we haven't seen before in terms of the storyline, the characters, literally everything about it was super fresh. So definitely is to be expected that once it hits your screen, people are going to be all over it, and we're going to like really, really love it. And by season 2, yeah, we already kind of knew what to expect. We're already a bit used to the concept of the movie. And I think around the time season 2 came out, there was also an actual reality game show, also based on Squid Game, which was also really good. And that came in, season 2 came in, and by season 3, we just used to it. What kept people going and watching the movie was he held our interest. That's why season 3 is such a fitting end, because it was approaching the end of its run. Kind of. In all, goodbye Squid Game. Nice movie, good movie. We will think of you. What did you think about Squid Game in season 3? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just share it all in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and just having a full discussion in there. Thank you for being here.